Section 3.4, adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Alright, let's go to page 163 and look at example 1. We have 3 and 2/7 plus 5 and 3/7. What I'm going to ask you all to do is, just like what you did with whole numbers aligned by place value, I want you to align by type in this case. So let's align vertically. 5 and 3/7 plus 3 and 2/7. And then when you look at this, the way I want you to do it is do the fraction piece first. Notice we have 3/7 plus 2/7. Well, we add the numerators because the denominators are alike and get 5 and then 7. And then we would check for reduction here, but because they're both prime, we can't reduce. And then now I want you to go look at the whole numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8. So this is how I want you to start doing addition and subtraction of mixed numbers. Do the fractional piece first, which we have a lot of work with in Chapter 2, and then the whole number piece, which we've had from Chapter 1. So when you put them together, this makes it much more efficient. Let's look at page 167. Let's look at example 3 there. We've got 6 and 5/8 plus 8 and 7/12. Okay, now notice this is still mixed numbers. I still want you to put them vertically. Align them by type. Now, the same thing here. Let's cover that up. I want you to look at the fractions. Now, just like we've had before, when fractions do not have like denominators, we prime factor. So again, here, just as a recall, you take your 12, 2 goes into 12/6, 2 goes into 6/3. We can stop. So this is 2 times 2 times 3. And then this is 7 on top. Then we can take our 8, and we get 2 goes into 8, 4, 2 goes into 4, 2. We can stop. So 2 times 2 times 2. And 5. Now remember, this is something that we've already done many times from Chapter 2. And then we go and look and see which factors are missing. This one's missing a 3, and this one's missing a 2. Then we put this factor up here, and this factor here. And then we can put them back together. So we get 14 over 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. So that works. And then now we can add these fractions. 14 plus 15 is 29 over 24. Now that we've introduced mixed numbers, we can't leave this as an improper fraction. We must change it. So 24 goes into 29 one time with 5 left over out of 24. So this piece then will be added to whatever we get from the whole number. So let's do the whole numbers. 8 plus 6 is 14. And then notice the 14 and the 1 will add together and make 15 and 5/24. And again, you would try to reduce this fractional piece at this point, but notice 5 is prime, 24 doesn't have any factors that include 5. So this is another type of mixed number that you can come up with addition and subtraction. Okay, let's go to page 170, and let's look at example 5. Alright, this is 24 and 5/8 minus 15 and 3/8. Again, line this up vertically. 24 and 5/8 minus 15 and 3/8. Now let's cover up the whole numbers. We can do the fractional piece here. 5 minus 3 is 2. We have the 8th left over. Now, this one is the first one that when we had the fraction at the end, we could reduce. We do the same thing we've done in the past. We prime factor. These cancel, leave us with a 1 on top, and 2 times 2 is 4. And then once you finish the fractional piece, and this is improper, so we can let's move to the whole number piece. The 24 minus the 15 gives us 9. So we get 9 and 1/4. Okay. The last special example here, let's do, this is on page 173. Let's look at example 7. 9 and 3/10 minus 7 and 3/4. Again, line this up vertically. 9 and 3/10 minus 7 and 3/4. We'll do the fractions first. So when you do the fractions here, notice that we have to get a common denominator. So we'll prime factor 10 is 2 and 5. 4 is 2 times 2. the factors, put the factors in that are missing. This is missing a 5, this is missing a 2. So then we also need a 5 up top and a 2 up top. Put this back together and we get 6 over 2 times 5 is 10 times 2 is 20. And then here we get 15. 2 times 2 is 4 times 5 is 20. Now, this is an interesting piece here, and I'll put a little star by this one. This one's a little special when you do subtraction. Notice we can't take 15 from 6. So just like we did with whole numbers, we're going to have to do some regrouping. Now here's where we go get the regrouping from. You go to the whole number. We had 9. We're going to take one whole unit out and then leave the 8. And that one whole unit, we need to break it up into whatever our pieces are. Notice here we have 20ths. So this needs to be 20 over 20. And then you take that 20 over 20 and you add it in to your 6 over 20, and that gives you 26 over 20. Now notice what you did here. You took one whole unit away from 9 and you broke it up into whatever units you needed. We needed 20ths. If this was hundredths, we'd need to make these 100 over 100. If this was 73, we'd make this 73 over 73. So whatever you need, that's what you break it into. Because remember, the whole units can be broken into any units. You add them to these. Notice the 20 plus the 6 gives us 26, and then they had the common 20 as the denominator. Now we can do the subtraction here. So 26 minus 15 is 11 20ths. 11's prime, so 20 doesn't have any factors, so that won't reduce. And then now we take the 8 minus the 7 here, because we took one whole unit and broke it down for our fractional piece. So 8 minus 7 is 1. So this represents pretty much all of the types that you'll see with addition and subtraction. And they're very similar. Example 7 is special because you had to actually regroup. Example 3 showed us where you have to change it from an improper to a proper with the mixed number piece so that you can add it together. But this covers everything that you'll see in section 3.4.